Hello friends! In my last video I showed how the FX browser is now a dockable panel already docked in the FX room along with the FX node settings. And I showed how this can make finding and using effects so much easier and quicker. Well, that's not the only panel that's now dockable, and that's what I want to show you today. So starting with the panel that I think you use most often, and that's the output settings here in the render menu. And you use this to set up your animation for rendering to a video file or to an image sequence. And as a floating window, it works pretty well, but you have to keep opening it to render and then closing it away again and then reopening it from the menu. So a better way would be to have that window docked. And in the latest nightly build of Tahoma, you can do just that. And where I'd recommend you docking it is in the browser room. So let's unlock the room so we can dock some panels in here. And in the browser room, we've already got the browser window for looking through your files, where you can rename files, export scenes, and generally deal with the files on disk. I don't tend to use this panel too much, but it's useful sometimes to be able to browse through the files on disk. Then at the bottom here, we've got the scene-cast, and this lists each of the levels in your scene. And in here, you can also remove any unused levels. And take a look at the audio files as well as the drawing levels in here. And if you've tried changing the layout of your rooms before, you'll know that you can't dock windows to the left hand side or to the right hand side of the main window while the program is fully maximized. So you have to press this middle button here in the header. So now if we go to the render menu and open the output settings, I can then click and drag that to the side of the screen and dock it so that the red line shows the full height, and that will dock to the full right hand side and then make the window full screen again. And then lock the padlock so we can't accidentally undock any of the panels. You can still resize them, of course, by clicking between the panels to change the width or height. But now, whichever room you're in, you can simply click to the browser room and immediately get to the render options, or to change the frames that you want to render, or any of the other settings available in these extended sections. Another small improvement is that the opening state of these sections is remembered when you close the program, so you don't have to keep reopening the same section again and again. Another similar panel that's also dockable from the render menu are the preview settings. And again, if I unlock the padlock, I can dock this up here to the left of the output settings. And now again, I can much easier get to preview or change the range of frames to preview or the shrink amount to make the preview smaller. And finally, the other dockable panel that I think you'll find useful and you may not have used before is the locator panel. So if I go to a room with a viewer window here and then open the burger menu at the bottom left, by default, the locator option is hidden, so if we tick that, you'll notice a new button appear, and that's this magnifying glass, which is for showing the locator window. So if I pop that open and make it larger, let me unlock the room panels here, and you'll notice as I move around the main viewer, the locator gives me a second view of this window. So let me just dock this at the side here, like so. And the locator is a great way to have a second view on your main viewer, but at a different scale. So if I go to the locator, I can hold the control key and zoom in and out using my mouse. And using my middle mouse wheel, I can pan around the scene. So now I've got a close-up view of my drawing as I'm drawing any fine details or colouring in. Alternatively, you might decide to zoom out on the viewer window, and then when you zoom in on the main viewer, as you're drawing the details, you still get to see an overview in the locator window. So this can give you an overview of the whole scene while you're drawing in those details. So if this is something that you might find useful, why not try docking the locator window? So it's with huge thanks to Manong John for continuing to add these extra features to Tahoma2D. Each of these really makes a huge quality of life difference, and I think will bring more people to work with Tahoma from OpenToons. So that's the end of my look at recent changes to Tahoma2D. and there are more that I've not covered just yet, but will probably do so in the near future. But as with these recent updates, I'll share them on Patreon first, so do check out my Patreon account and see if you'd like to support me and all that I do here on the channel. So Tahoma2D has so many more new quality of life features like this than OpenToonz has, so why not check it out and see if this is your new favourite animation program like it is mine. In the meantime, keep animating, keep being creative, and I'll see you soon for another animation update. And that's a Darren Tea.